Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to another episode here at the PortCast. In honor of the 50th anniversary of hip hop, we have a special guest with us today. This guy, along with a few others, have been a huge part of hip hop in the city of Bridgeport for a very, very long time and has continued to contribute to the hip hop in the city. Do you mind introducing yourself?
My name is White Flash, aka Mr. Good Music, lifelong resident, hip hop historian.
And where did you grow up? What side of town?
East Side, Father Panic, a little bit out in Stratford, Connecticut, Bridgeport all my life.
Okay. And how was it growing up as a kid on the east side of Bridgeport?
Very interesting, multicultural, you know what I'm saying? Bridgeport is a melting pot. And it was cool, growing up on Stillman Street, moved out to Stratford for a little bit, came back to Bridgeport, went to Hardin High School. Like I said, real heavily into Father Panic. The whole city in general has always been good to me. And I'm still here, still doing what I love to do, man.
Okay. And before you got into DJing, what type of things that you were into as a kid before you started DJing?
Before I technically started DJing, my mother worked at a place called Stratford Town Fair. They had a bakery. Chances are my mother served you chocolate chip cookies and brownies. And Town Fair had a little record department, and their 45 used to be 69 cents. So I went to grammar school out there, like right down the street. So I was the little chubby white dude, like every week when they had music days, bringing the like Kool and the Gang and Earth, Wind and Fire, and that kind of like birthed my interest in, you know, Michael Jackson, all these, you know, groups back then. And it just grew with me. It just grew with me.
So do you remember the moment you were introduced and fell in love with hip hop?
Yes. I went to Harding High School, played sports, played football. But in the off season, I used to want to stay in shape and work out. So I used to hang out with the basketball team. Charlie Bentley's first year. So we had Buddy Jordan, you know, the legends, you know what I'm saying? So I used to hang out with them, try to, you know, work out, keep in shape. But they started asking me, like, you know, yo, can you play some music while we up in the layup line? So I'm like, yeah, all right, I can do that. You know, little, you know, some old school R&B and stuff. They would want to hear some music. But that got me interested, like, okay, this music thing is pretty cool. This is like 77. I mean, I'm not trying to say how old I am, but that's 77. So that sparked my musical awareness. Like, damn, all this stuff is funky. What is this? What is brass construction? What's cameo? Then all of a sudden it's like, what is Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5 and all of that good stuff? And I'm like, okay, funky 4 plus 1 more. So that kind of like got me interested, and I used to listen to a station, 1450 AM, Tough Tony, WNAB. They really exploded with the hip hop back in them days, and you know, listening to the radio and hearing different music, and I'm like, it's pretty good. I think the white side had left me kind of like behind, like the Rolling Stones and the Kiss kind of like left me like real quick. So I got interested in that type of music, and it kept me going. But as I got into what the hell is this thing called hip hop? And I think I seen somebody cutting a record one day. I said, you know what? That's what I want to do. So, you know, you have to start off somewhere. Like you said, one-man operation. So I started off like that, just, you know, a little mix-match turntables. Or I used to play my mother's stereo with the one knob, trying to, you know, without breaking her knob and stuff. But that got me into the house parties and stuff. Back then, it wasn't a White Flash thing in like 78, 79. It was a Lee Rock thing. Everybody back in the day, old school, wanted to be a rock. It was Thai rock or B rock or J. It was a rock. So that was my whole end of Harding High School career with the music in about 80. I graduated in 81. Then I worked for the Boys and Girls Clubs in Bridgeport. So I used to get out of school, go to Boys Club, work. Then I would DJ at a club around the corner till 3 in the morning. So I got my little bag of records, walking to work, whatever. But I started to notice that each side of town had their own little rap group. Spanish had their group, you know, everybody else had their little groups, but they didn't need a DJ. They wasn't messing with me. They was just like, yeah, whatever, whatever. So I just, you know, I held my own, grew into it. And I used to work at a club called Mr. D's over by Father Panic. And I was DJing in there. Couple dudes and a couple of cats I know, Boogeyman, Cool Rap, and Sweet D. They popped up one night and they're like, what you doing Saturday? I'm like, nothing, why? You want to DJ for us for a MC battle in New Haven? I'm like, yeah, all right, cool. So LOD was actually like at that time an extremely popular and bad group. So went to New Haven. White dude, not supposed to be knowing what they doing. Won the battle, had a fight to get out of there, but we won the battle. So my hip hop career just solidified at that moment. And after the LOD, which is Legion of Doom, this is when Stratford Roller Park, the Moss skating rink started becoming popular. And the hip hop promoters started doing parties at these skating rinks. And we formed a group. It was Superman J, Shock and Sean. I had Boogeyman, Cool Rap, and Sweet D. We formed a group called Twice as Nice. This is around 82, 83. And the group was bad. It was bad. And we caught the attention of, at that time, a hip hop promoter named Arthur Armstrong out of New York. And he was doing a lot of the bigger shows. There was another promoter around here, I gotta remember his name real quick, but Anthony Small Sr. He used to do a lot of skating parties. He used to do a lot of hip hop around here. But something about the New York guy, he brought us everywhere that the early stars went to. Cold Crush Brothers, Crash Crew, Master Dawn, Fearless Four, all these superstars, we rocking out of state with everybody. So one day I was in the village. We were still Twice as Nice. One day out there in the village, right, doing what I wasn't supposed to be doing. Little skinny kid with big ears came up to me like, yo, I could beatbox. It's like, yeah, all right, whatever. He said, no, I could beatbox. I said, yo, come on, let's walk to Mr. D's. I got the keys to the club. And I let him get the mic, and this dude was bad. I said, I got to take you to practice tonight. I took him to practice at Jimmy and Sean's house. I was like, yo, this dude's bad. Why we don't put him down? He was like, yo, that's our cousin. I'm like, what y'all waiting for? This dude is bad. At that time, the Fat Boys was the Fat Boys. So bringing Jock into the group took the group to a whole nother level. And obviously his name was Jock, so it should be Jock Box. Common sense. And the Skinny Boys' first record was actually, Jock Box is actually a Twice as Nice routine, you know, a planned out routine back in the day. They took it and made a hit record out of it, and they were blessed with it. So at that timeline, if you definitely want this timeline, there's still a little bit. Twice as Nice, when we split, the Skinny Boys, Superman J, Shock and Sean, and Jock Box went to the left. They also took one of my MCs, which was Sweet D. They went and did the Skinny Boys. Me, Boogeyman, and Cool Rap, we just chilled on the side for a little bit. They was, you know, doing a lot of things. They dropping records. But after a while, Sweet D said, you know what? I'm going to come back to y'all. So he came back to us, and I formed the group 3 the hard way. And it was our own independent label, no major label input whatsoever. Sometimes when you're a major label, you don't have control over your material. But for us, we formed Hardcore Records, which was a Bridgeport label. And we put 3 songs out, put a song out called Heartbeat, This House Rocks, and Hard Knocks. 2 hard songs and one was like a ladyish song. Back then, the love rap stuff was pretty big because LL messed everything up with the I Need Love, right? So sometimes when you put records out, your best record might not be the one that you think is your best record. And it ended up being Heartbeat. And we got put onto a Fresh Fest tour off that one record with the Fat Boys, Salt and Pepper, Heavy D, and a group called the White Boys, which was a runoff from the Beastie Boys. So we did several shows with them, New Haven Coliseum and stuff. After that, Skinny Boys got signed to Jive. We kept going. We put out another couple records. We put a record out called Hyped, Stupid Hype. Probably our biggest record ever. And after that, after we sold maybe 10,000 records on our own, but then we were running low. So groups, labels were trying to get at us to sign us. So we had management, and management not always agreed with the type of deals we were trying to get. And everybody was killing the record. Red Alert was killing it. Everybody was killing it, but we were running low. So one of my brothers named Van Silk out of New York City, a real legendary dude in the hip hop field. He was at Polygram Records at that time. And their biggest artist was B-Fats. He had a record called The WAP. So they were looking to sign groups. So we had a meeting with them. Dude wanted to sign us. He said, how much is it going to take for y'all to cut an album? We said, well, we almost got an album done. He said, how many records you got left? We said, well, we've got about 3,000 records left out of 10,000. He said, what I'll do is I'll buy the 3,000 records and I'll give y'all $80,000. Back then, 80,000 was like how much? 800,000? But management didn't like the deal. And the next day, 3 the Hard Way split up.
Wow.
Skinny Boys kept going to their fame, and they deserve everything that they've gotten to this point.
All right, so let's take it back a little bit. Back to the DJ name. So your first DJ name wasn't White Flash.
Nah, that was not the plan.
Your first DJ name was
Lee Rock.
Lee Rock. Okay.
Everybody wanted to be a rock.
Right.
The White Flash thing came from FPV. My boy Wiz, my brother, my best friend Wiz. They used to call him Black Flash. We leaning on a building in the Village, and my man Beagle, he walked up to like, yo, that's Black Flash. Why they don't call you White Flash? And I said, oh, this thing gonna suck, man. And
do you remember your very first DJ gig that you did, and how
a house
that
party down my block? I've got a picture from the party. It was a Spanish birthday party. I'm still friends with the family to this day. I can't tell you what year, but it is pretty deep. But back then, it was before the hip hop. It was, the disco-ish music, and it must be the music type stuff. It was the music was different, man. Okay. Hip hop wasn't really bombarding the clubs like that. There wasn't a lot of hip hop to begin with.
Okay. Now, the road to become a good DJ, or just a DJ period, what are the basic things you must do?
The things you need to do in order to be
a DJ.
Okay. Number one, you have to love music. Not like music, but love music. All music. Number two, see, it's different then than it is now. Back then, there was only records, turntables, mixer. Now everything is digital. whole different format. So I started with 2 mix match turntables that I probably bought from the pawn shops, buying records, learning how to, first and foremost, learn how to mix. If you can't mix, don't try to jigga, because that's second. Learn how to mix, get your ear right, figure out what records go with what records. Learn your records. Just don't buy a record, open and throw it on. Master your craft. And if you do something that you love to do, you will never work a day in your life. And I'm basically the proof of that. I mean, I've had businesses and stuff, but if you love what you do, stick with it. Don't let nobody change your mind.
Now, how do you feel about the evolution of the DJs? Initially, the DJ was the main focus, and then you added a MC to complement what the DJ was doing. Then that role kind of reversed over the years, where everything was about the MC, and then the DJ was secondary. And along the way, the DJ realized that, and they made a pivot to now where they're doing tours, they're doing arenas, they're doing private gigs, they're hosting mixtapes. How do you feel about that overall evolution?
Great question. Great question, deserves a great answer. The DJ is the backbone of hip hop, first and foremost. It was DJ, MC. That's 2 of the 4 elements of hip hop. So DJ is always first, the MC came second, then the break dancing and all that stuff came third. Like you said, the evolution, like you said. It's always been about, the DJ was always the forefront of the group. Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince. It's always been the DJ first and the MC second. But as, like you said, it evolved, technology kind of like changed the narrative with, it's not about the DJ no more, it's just about the MC. A lot of them don't even throw a thumb drive in now. It's like, yo, what DJ? You don't need a DJ. So a DJ's lifespan, including myself, is broader. I've got a 45-year lifespan with DJ thing. Okay, the window for a DJ to be a working DJ is broader versus the lifespan of the MC. Obviously, I'm a perfect example, 45 years. The transition from the DJ being in the front to the DJ being in the background, now that gave a whole nother opportunity to the old school DJs. Now they don't need the rappers. They left us already, so guess what? Now the Capris and the Scratch, Jazzy Jeff, they've all found other avenues to continue their success.
What was the first record that you bought as a DJ?
That had to be like Grandmaster Flash, Super Rhymes, Funky 4+1 More, all that early era stuff, man. Spoonie G. There was some funk stuff, but hip hop, Get Up and Dance, Freedom, Good Times. That 78, 79 was the birth, like, of everything.
If you were told that you could only play one last record as a DJ, what would it be and why?
It would be Stupid Hype by 3 The Hard Way featuring White Flash, because the records back then was about the DJs. And it's our most honorable project that we've ever done. And like I said, the record puts me into a good thought process. You're talking millions of records. To only pick one, it's got to be my own personal favorite. It's got to be.
Okay. And what does hip hop means to you?
hip hop is something you live, not something you do. Rap is something you do. Hip hop is the culture.
So let's talk about the culture of hip hop and the 50th anniversary of hip hop. I believe it's September 3rd. We're having a celebration in honor of hip hop. 50 years. How does that feel to be a part of it for that many years and having such a great event like that here in the city of Bridgeport?
I've been celebrating hip hop probably 45 years of those 50, because obviously I'm 60 years old. So I was at that brink. Hip hop's been around for a while. The good thing about hip hop was Metro North runs from Grand Central to New Haven. So when hip hop got on that train, it stopped in Stanford, Bridgeport, and New Haven. Then it trickled upwards to Waterbury, Danbury, Hartford.
I have one more question. What words of advice would you give to upcoming DJs today?
You gotta learn the music. Know the music that you're playing, and you can be successful, but it doesn't come overnight. You gotta have patience.
So when you're not a DJ and you take your DJ hat off and you want to just vibe out and listen to a nice set, what would you like that set to be?
Something that's being mixed correctly. Not a whole bunch of air horns and screaming at the top of your lungs. Because now I'm no longer a DJ. I'm a guest, a consumer, a patron. Everybody is different. Every DJ is different. Unless they start playing the same 20 songs all the time. I want to hear some good music. I want to see people enjoy it. I want to hear a good DJ. I want to know what other DJs are playing. There's been DJs that turn me on to songs and I'm like, yo, what the hell is that? That thing is so dope. Because there's so much music out there in the world that's not being played on the radio. There's no more R&B like there used to be. So a lot of R&B is just hip hop songs with R&B little hook on it. Back then, R&B had the hip hop hook on it. So the roles have reversed. Now everything is down tempo. Back then, our slow songs was down tempo. So now our slow songs are their club songs. So everything is just it flipped the script on it. But I like to hear good music, a good DJ.
So let's talk about the 50th anniversary hip hop, September 3rd, McGleevely Green, Bridgeport, Connecticut.
This event was brought to the attention of Peace in the Street, Hip Hop 1001. That portion was curated by JB. So the Over the Hill Gang, the 50 and Over, that was kind of me and my brother Tony Tone from the Cold Crush Brothers, which is a 20-year resident of the city of Bridgeport. So currently we have the Skinny Boys, we have Three the Hard Way, and we have Connecticut Cartel. As a headliner, we have the Asiatic one, AZ from New York. Like I said, it's going to be a celebration. We're going to have a hip hop panel, sit down discussion. There's going to be some awards giving out, proclamations. We're going to have a big screen out there with names running across the entire day of all the older crews that made contributions and also the people that have passed on in their life. Kind of like, honorable mention type stuff. We're going to have B-boys, breakdancing, graffiti. I have 4 main DJs. I've got my friend DJ Wiz. I've got another brother named DJ Dr. Rock. Another right hand of mine is DJ Terrible T, originally from Stanford, but another 20-year resident of Bridgeport. And we have a couple fill-in guys that are there's gonna be more than enough time to do a couple different things. But September 3rd, like I said, JB's gonna headline. his segment with the groups. I'm looking forward to that, and just making it happen for the city. It's our twist on the 50th anniversary of hip hop.
If people want to follow you or get in touch with you, how can they do that?
They can get me on social media, DJ White Flash at Facebook.com or DJ White Flash at Instagram.com. Easy to get a hold of, not difficult whatsoever. I just want to support my city, and with whatever time I have left, I want everybody to prosper. Like I said, this conversation, you can't go next door and pay for this conversation. This is just, you got somebody, let's pick it. Let's document it.
All right, there you go. There you have it. So I look forward to seeing you rocking the 1s and 2s September 3rd at the 50th anniversary of hip hop, Bridgeport, Connecticut, McLeavely Green.
No controllers for me that day, turntables.
All right, thank you.